And we start with Premier A, and only one of the top four teams won yesterday. That was Melrose, who beat Curry 26-22 at Millennium Park to increase their lead at the top of the table to 6 points. Bill Paulson was at the game.
Playing with the wind in the first half, Melrose led 16-3 at half-time, but they had a lot of defending to do in the second half before emerging with a victory over Curry. Home standoff, Jamie Forbes gave Curry the lead with a penalty after 6 minutes. But 3 penalties by his opposite number, Andrew Skeen, eased the Rose ahead. Skeen completed the first half scoring by converting a try by Fraser Thompson after the fullback had raced 45 metres to touchdown in the right corner after 34 minutes. Curry's forwards applied pressure at the start of the second half, and prop Loma Kivaulu rumbled over for tries after 49 and 64 minutes. Both were converted by Barry Mansfield to edge Curry ahead by a point. In the rare Melrose attack, Graham Dodds fed Joe Helps for a try under the posts. Skeen converted and then kicked a fourth penalty for a 9-point lead. Curry responded with an unconverted try by Steve Burton after a kick had been charged down. At the end of a rousing match at Millennium Park, the final score was Curry 22, Melrose 26.
Gala had the tricky task of visiting Stirling County, who have already beaten Melrose, Ayr and Curry at Bridgehawk this season. And they added Gala to their list with a 24-18 win. But at least the Maroons collected a losing bonus point to move them level with Dundee on points. Craig Robertson scored 2 tries, with Lee Miller getting the other, and a penalty. Here's head coach George Graham.
Obviously, we started off with high hopes of this game today to try and get ourselves back on the tracks, but unfortunately we never, and we started the game poorly. Stirling County forwards dominated, and consequently we were under the course right away. The tackling was bad, and we coughed up 2 tries early on in the first half. But we consolidated and we scored our own try before the half time. So we go into half time, still 1 score behind, but second half was pretty much the same. We were a little bit better. I think the forwards, Stirling County forwards, were much better and us, more accurate, more hungrier, and consequently that led to us losing the game.
Ayr beat Dundee High School FP 24-13, and Boroughmuir defeated Aberdeen Grammar 27-7 in the other 2 games in that division. On to Premier B, and wins for both Jed Forest and Hawick. Hawick won at Glasgow Hawks for the second visit running, taking the game 17-12. Graham Hogg and Neil Rennick scored tries for the Greens, with Rennick converting both and adding a penalty. Here's Hawick captain Bruce McNeil.
It was a tough game. Always knew it was going to be tough coming up to Glasgow Hawks and to get our head round travelling away 2 games in the trot. That mean we kind of composed ourselves in the first 10 minutes and we played some really good rugby. It was kind of a game of 2 halves, so it was quite a strong wind. And I think it was just the team that played the conditions a bit better, came out on top, and we fully deserved the win the way we played, and all credit to the boys. All we need to do now is just keep a level head and obviously look forward to next week against Edinburgh Brackies.
Jed Forest have had a miserable time of it of late, losing their last 6 games, but they got back to winning ways to do the double over Watsonians, running out winners 28-20. And after his try drought, Gregor Young scored for his club for the first time since the end of September, finally moving his try total on from 10 to 12 for Jed with a brace yesterday. David Gobby and Ross Goodfellow also crossed to secure a try bonus, with Ewan Scott kicking 2 penalties and a conversion. Young went off with a dislocated shoulder, but he told us he hopes to be back playing again next month. Here's Darren Cunningham, head coach of Jed Forest.
First half it was a bit to and fro, but once we got a grip of the game and we tightened a few things up at half time, and then we sort of just took control in half time. But I thought definitely once we had the ball and we got the ball out of our backs looked dangerous all the time.
Hawick are 3rd in the table, with Jed Forest moving to 6th. Don't forget, only the top 2 in Premier B will be playing in the top flight of Scottish club rugby next season, so plenty at stake there. Into Premier C, and the big derby was at Philippock between Selkirk and Kelso. The 2 sides had met twice before this season, with the spoils going to Kelso on both occasions. But this time round it was a different story. Selkirk won the try-count 3-0 to run out comfortable winners 26 points to 6, with Neil Darling, Peter Mirrlees and Callum McComb getting the touchdowns. For McComb, it was his first try for Selkirk since coming up through the youth club ranks. David Cassidy scored 11 points with the boot, while Kieran Wilkinson kicked 2 penalties for Kelso. Let's hear first from Selkirk head coach Ewan Robbie.
Very happy with the result. I still think we could have been a bit more clinical in attack at some points. But Kelso were very physical in the contact situation, but The difference being this time, I think we matched them there. I was disappointed sometimes when we had chances, but overall very happy with defence. I'm really happy with that. Again, that's something to score a try against us.
And clearly a disappointed Kelso boss, Eugene Murnane.
Oh, big disappointment, Stuart. We come over here and we genuinely thought we'd get something out of the game, but by our own standards, we just didn't play very well at all. We didn't use the conditions, with the wind first half, second half against the wind, we just didn't keep hold of the ball, and they turned us over. I dread to think how many times overall, and sloppy mistakes on top of that. You're always chasing the game.
You can see highlights of that game right now at Borders Rugby Television, as well as looking at all the stats, the news, the results and all the details from yesterday's games at bordersrugby.net. Peebles desperately needed a win in their derby at Hartree Mill against Biggar, but they went down 8 points to 3. The one losing point they got wasn't enough to move them off the bottom, and the harsh reality is that with just 4 games remaining, they simply cannot afford another loss if they're going to escape regional rugby next season. On to the National League, and Hawick YM are still on course to win the league with an impressive 43-3 win at Ellen. They're second in the table with a game in hand and only 1 point behind Musselburgh. Langham, meanwhile, won their third game in a row with a 13-0 victory at home to Linlithgow. Finally, the local results from the East League. East League 1, Berwick 36, Trinity Accies 13, Hawick Lundin 10, Duns 20. East League 2, Dalkeith 16, Earlston 26, Dunbar 20, Hawick Quinns 11, Galloway YM 18, Pennycook 20, and in Division 3, Queensferry 15, Walkerburn 25.